Okay, but you're not supposed to say it.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. Today's episode is brought to you by Jase Medical. Empower yourself when you purchase a Jase case, providing you with a personal supply of 5 antibiotics that treat 50-plus infections. Get yours today at jasemedical.com. That's Jase medical.com. With me, as always, is my producer, Steve Granados. Steve, how you doing?
Hello, Stacey. Here we are again. Here we are again.
It's like a weekly thing now.
It's just, we'll get into it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks so much for clicking on the show. 5 days a week, still here on Locked On Yankees. We're still covering this madness. This is still happening. Not the only thing we're covering today. Of course, the Yankees made 2 40-man roster moves. What does that mean? Who's involved? It's kind of interesting. We'll break it down a little bit later on. Of course, they've also expressed interest in re-signing Wandy Peralta. We'll break that down as well as some of the other latest rumors. But, yay, here we are again, Stacey. I just want to say this up top. Stop talking. Stop talking. Stop talking. Every time you open your mouth, this gets worse. Can we just please, if I have to say his name, Stacey, you're going to make me say the name. I have to say Brian Cashman again on this show. I thought we were done with this. I thought we were done.
We should probably start treating him like Voldemort.
I think he's going to Beetlejuice this situation and just show up in my room.
Yeah. I know. Every time we think everything's clear, we don't have to worry about it. Boom, something else comes out.
Okay, if you don't know what we're talking about, this is what we're talking about. Okay, so Brian Cashman, in the midst of his hour-plus long GM-GI meetings, spoke about Giancarlo Stanton. And Stace, let's get this out front. He's not wrong.
Right.
Just don't say it. Just don't say that. You're not supposed to say that. It comes off as bad mouthing, right? So this is what he said to reporters. Brian Cashman last week, and this randomly kind of popped up like over the last 40 hours or so, 30 hours. Quote, "We try to limit the time he's down," talking about Giancarlo Stanton. "But I'm not going to tell you he's going to play every game next year because he's not. He's going to wind up getting hurt again, more likely than not, because it seems to be part of his game. But I know that when he's right and healthy, other than this past year, the guy's a great hitter and has been for a long time." None of that's wrong. None of that is wrong. And yes, peek behind the curtain into his brain, Brian Cashman, that is. Yeah, you have to anticipate that Stanton's going to be missing time next year because every year has been that way. You have to do that. You have to be ready for that. But that was just the first part of this, Stace. Now we're getting into this he said, she said, Mean Girls, Love is Blind style argument.
Okay, so that came out, I believe it came out on Monday. And as you said, it happened last week, but for some reason it never, out of all the stuff that he said last week, I'm surprised that didn't come out until this week. I find that kind of surprising. So then Ken Rosenthal appeared on the Foul Territory podcast and spoke about how Stanton's camp, i.e. his agent, Joel Wolfe, was not very happy about what Brian Cashman said about his client, which, I mean, understandable. You can think it, you can know it, we think it, but don't say it.
Yes, that's it. That's it here. That's all there is here.
So his manager or his agent clapped back and, oh boy. So he said, "I read the context of the entire interview." His name's Joel Wolfe. He said, "I think it's a good reminder for all free agents considering signing in New York, both foreign and domestic, that to play for that team, you've got to be made of Teflon, both mentally and physically, because you can never let your guard down even in the off season." Now, Steve, tell everyone who else Joel Wolfe represents.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto. One, Teflon, weird metal to choose, or
Yeah, well, yeah.
steel is the word there. I don't, it's
Yeah.
gonna be made of I don't know. That was a weird one to me. Besides the point,
Yeah.
dude. How many times do we have to do this? And like that hour long plus, what's next? What's next that's gonna come out of this? Stop talking if you don't have anything to say. Stop.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it here, dude. I am tired of talking about Brian Cashman on this show. I'm over it. Hello. I'm over
And
it. I'm over it. I'm
and
done.
it's bad enough that Stanton has to deal with the fans being jerks about things, but now his own, he has to hear this stuff about himself from Brian Cashman. Now it's like, I don't know. And, there was something else last week where Cameron Maybin spoke about Stanton possibly not wanting to stay here because of how he's been
Yeah.
treated. And now this comes out and it's kind of like, uh, you know, like, do we need this? Well, yes, news-wise, we do because it's the off season. It's kind of boring, but it is going to get annoying if Cashman, something comes out weekly about something silly that he says.
Yes. And Hal Steinbrenner, not in this specific instance, to be fair, is like, hey, it's cool. Right? Like he is. And if I can go 1 week on this show, every dayers keep me to this. Can I please go 1 week on the show without saying the name Cashman or Steinbrenner? Please, that's all I ask. Just stay out of the news, please.
Unless you're making a trade, unless you're signing someone.
No.
Shut up.
No, veto that because it should be the Yankees sign this player, not Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner. Open checkbook to the Yankees sign this player. The Yankees train this player. You're in the news too much. You're in the news too much. You're a distraction to the team.
Yeah.
Let the team be the team. I'm done.
Right.
I'm done. Sorry. I had to get that out today. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people got to feel this way, right? Like I can't be the only one that's like, dude, again?
Yeah. No, I joked about, safely keeping him in a shed somewhere, giving him water and letting him have air, but keeping him somewhere far away so he can't talk to anyone for the next few weeks, not until the winter meetings. Just stay away. Start Thanksgiving early, Brian. Like, do something.
Jeez, dude. Jeez. Part of this too, Stacey, is when you're talking about this, rant over. I'm done. Sorry, every dares. You don't see me like that very often, but I've had it up to here. But look, James Rowson's kind of talked about Stanton already. Obviously, we've talked about James Rowson already as being the new Yankees hitting coach, but he's already talking about Stanton not that way. Good.
Right.
Talking about it the way you're supposed to talk about it. We're going to figure it out. He is part of your team. He is your teammate. He is one of your players. He needs to be productive. That's it. Plain and simple. Because guess what? Hate to be the bearer of bad news. You're not trading him. That's just not going to happen.
No.
He is on the Yankees, and he is a Yankee. You need him to perform. It is best for him. It is best for the team. It is best for the fans. So how do you do that? And James Rowson talked about it, which is great.
Yes, and not only is he talking about it, he's talking with Stanton already. They've already exchanged text messages back and forth. So he's like jumping right in and getting this. He's getting into the groove immediately after being named the hitting coach. As we said, the person we're not going to mention, the name, is correct. When Stanton is healthy, he helps the team. When Stanton and Judge hit home runs at the same time, the Yankees are like 501 or something crazy like that. Like every time those two hit home runs together, the Yankees are usually winning the games. And the problem for Stanton last year wasn't really the injuries. It was he was noticeably slower, and not just running, because we've spoken about that 80 million times. And, him trying to go from second to home and being nailed at the plate by 50 feet, or even, chugging into second on a ball that should have been a triple, like stuff like that. We're talking bat speed slowing down, pitch recognition really looking bad. I joked about him getting glasses. So it's not just the health part, which is a big part, but it's also he just turned 34. He's naturally declining. So I'm happy that Rowson's excited to work with him, and hopefully he can help him fix some of the issues that he had in 2023.
Yeah, I think the one that you really could be glossed over there, but shouldn't be, is pitch recognition. Chasing. He chased a lot. And
Oof.
that's something that can be worked on. That's not something that, in theory, degrades with age, right? Obviously, the bat speed and the strength and all that kind of stuff, that goes down.
Right.
That's how That's how human nature is. But you can work on your eyes. You can work on recognizing pitches and reading things out of the hand. Like that's when you become a student of the game. And that I believe that that's still in there. He's not 44,
Right.
like there's still baseball in him. And I hope that James Rowson can figure it out and unlock some of what used to be, because again, you need him. You need
Yeah.
him. He's part of the lineup. He has to be in there. Forever, however many games you get out of him, you want the best version of him. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Nothing more than that.
This is what Rowson said. Let's just finish it with this because I kind of like this. He said, it's just a matter of getting to know him and talking. He's a veteran player. He's been around. He's ready for the upcoming year. I'm excited. I think we're going to get to know each other here pretty quickly, and I think a good relationship is going to come out of it.
Good. That's the only news surrounding Giancarlo Stanton we should be talking about.
Yeah.
That's it. Zip it. That's it. All right. Hey, reply to that pinned comment here on the YouTube side. Submit your Fan Mail Friday questions. We're going to be doing that here in a couple of days, so make sure to get your question in while you still can. You can also join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. You can text us. Maybe you're just as frustrated as I am and annoyed as I am. Just text us over on the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. There's a link in the episode description. Click that. You get a 14-day free trial. Try it for 2 weeks. See if you like it. All right. News outside of this hubbub. And it's interesting stuff. Wandy Peralta coming back? We're going to discuss that when we come back. Hey, everydayers. Today, we want to get a little bit more personal on Locked On Yankees. We just learned that you can get a 1-year supply of ED medications with our sponsor, Jace Medical. That means you're going to be ready for the next supply chain issue whenever or however that comes. You don't have to worry about whether or not you can refill for your generics, for Cialis, Viagra, or Revatio. And this is possible, again, because of our friends at Jace Medical. You can go online right now, jacemedical.com, to receive a 12-month supply of your daily medication. And, of course, use promo code LOCKEDON at checkout for a discount, too. This is a verified customer review. I am thankful for this service. Supply chain issues caused me to cut pills in half to have it. I ordered most of my daily meds with a year's supply. I also ordered the antibiotic kit. I feel secure now. Prices are lower than local pharmacies. I highly recommend this for everyone. Sounds pretty good to me. If you want some peace of mind by having a year's supply of any daily med, go to jacemedical.com to see if it's offered for you. Remember, use promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off your purchase. Back here on Locked On Yankees. Hey, everydayers. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel here on YouTube. It's called Locked On Sports Today, covering you 24/7 top sports stories of the day with all of us local experts here on the Locked On Network, of course, including our national shows. You can go to the Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe. Again, 24 streaming channel. You'll even see us on there on occasion, which, I mean, you guys watch us every day anyway, so it'll just be a nice little refresher. You can go watch that rant again. Oh man, is that going to be on the national channel now? Now I'm worried. Gosh, now everybody's going to be watching me live. Okay. Stace, some news. Wandy Peralta? It's coming back. We've kind of been dabbling with this idea here over the last, month or so. But now it's not just us guessing. This is confirmed. This is coming from Gary Phillips of the New York Daily News, that the Yankees have interest in re-signing Wandy Peralta. He has not been presented with a formal offer just yet. Brian Cashman is busy talking about Giancarlo Stanton and claiming BS on everything. But Stace, this is pretty good. I like Wandy, and everyone likes Wandy.
Yeah, I like Wandy too. He's been a good Yankee, and he's pretty reliable too. I mean, he's like every other reliever. He has an occasional blow up, but for the most part, Wandy comes in and you're pretty much like, okay, this should be fine. And he throws with his left hand, as we say all the time, and he's one of the only ones. So yeah, I can see why they would want him back.
I wanted to kind of throw this out there. Obviously, we're talking about age and guys getting older and stuff like that. Getting older all the time. Superman, Goldfinger. But Peralta kind of projects well as he gets older because he's not a strikeout guy. He's a
Right.
ground ball machine. And
Yeah.
like we've talked about that all the time here on the show, and Yankees fans know all about it. You don't want the ball in the air at Yankee Stadium. You want the ball on the ground. So you know, that's always a nice added bonus when it comes to Wandy. It's not that he's just effective, it's how he's effective.
Yeah.
So we kind of belabored that they should have moved him at the deadline. Maybe this was the thought process moving forward, that they wanted to try and maintain that relationship. Don't do it with your current players, but do it with guys you're hoping to get back. But I'm still riding hot here. But yeah, no, I would be completely open to a Wandy re-signing.
But you know, I know you're joking about it, but it's true though, because this isn't the first time Cashman's done that. He did it to Jeter while he was still playing here. He's done it to like a bunch of other players. So no, you're right on that. But no, I like the Wandy thing. I think it'd be good. We've spoken about it, that his teammates love him because apparently he's really funny, and all the guys in the clubhouse really love him. And after the year they had in 2023, they do still need some comic relief in the clubhouse. So it'd be good to have Wandy there. But no, I like this. And we spoke about this, as you said, as a possibility. And it's not a bad thing. It's really, really good. And that would actually give me some peace of mind, where they would re-sign him and then go for someone else in a different position, maybe like a different pitching position or something.
For sure. Which kind of perfectly leads into the next thing here. This is a tweet that came yesterday from Jon Morosi, saying Yankees are among the most active teams in the starting pitcher market. Yeah, we knew that. And sources say they're showing early interest in Yoshinobu. Yeah, we know that. Yamamoto and Aaron Nola, among others. So Aaron Nola is a new name tied to the Yankees. Stacey obviously pitched some good ball in Philly. Your thoughts on that? Maybe a future Making the Case episode.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea either. I like that it says Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Aaron Nola, and not or, because I feel like the Yankees need to sign at least two. But yeah, no, he's an interesting one. He would be slotted in there as probably the 3, right?
Yeah.
Nola, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it were just Nola, then yeah, because then it would be behind Rodon.
Mhm.
And then however the Nestor Schmidt King situation irons itself out. But yeah, no, I'd place him right there in the 3, and that's a pretty darn good 3. I'll be real with you.
Yeah, because he'd be a 2 or a 1 on other teams. So
yeah. I mean, he'd be like the ace in like Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? Like he'd be like ahead of Mitch Keller kind of thing. Clearly would be ahead of Mitch Keller, even though Mitch Keller had a good year.
Right.
But yeah, among others, look, we're kind of grasping at straws here. Let's be real. This is the first we've seen Aaron Nola tied to the Yankees at all. He'd have to cut his hair, but
everyone has to cut their hair.
yeah. We're doing.
They let Cole get away with it for a couple of years. His hair was kind of longer than Yankees normally have it, and then we spoke about it at the beginning of the season. I was a little worried because he cut his hair, and what happened? He's probably more than likely winning the Cy Young. So keep cutting the hair, Garrett.
Yeah. He's winning the Cy Young tonight, by the way. Just if you're watching this when this comes out tonight, he's winning that thing, and that's going to be our show tomorrow. So hang out with us. Come hang out with us and celebrate Garrett Cole. But yeah, Stacey, I mean, there's obviously the latter part of this tweet as well, the among others, which is not surprising at all. Right. The Yankees clearly had depth issues in 2023. However you want to label them, as terrible, or if they weathered the storm, whatever, they needed help. They put too much trust in guys like Johnny Brito and Randy Vasquez. Had to go to them way too many times, even though they obviously were clearly trying to limit their major league time as well, not for service time manipulation, but because they didn't probably feel like they were really necessarily ready. But it was kind of more of a, well, you're 40 man, so what else are we going to do? So they very clearly need some help there. And you said 2, I'd be happy with 1. 2 would obviously make things so much easier. That pushes Schmidt into the pen. Sorry, bro, you pitched great, but Have fun in the pen, and then it's
Thank you for your service. Hope you enjoyed your long nap that you should still be taking, and
yes,
have fun back in the pen.
yeah. Thanks for being our long guy, and that ends up King versus Nestor, which is a great battle to have. And then you got injuries to fill. Schmidt jumps into that role easily, and it makes a lot of sense if you do end up getting two. But I wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, they didn't get two starting pitchers. The offseason is over. It's
Right.
ruined.
Right.
One, and I'm happy. Zero, I'm like, uh-oh. But other than that, let us know how you're feeling about the Nola stuff. Let us know if you want a Making the Case episode about him. Obviously, we've been doing Making the Case here on Locked On Yankees, which I feel like people are liking so far, where we give you pros and cons and come to final verdicts, a whole episode dedicated to free agents. So let us know if you want an Aaron Nola episode, and we'll see if we can do that here soon. We're going to step aside when we come back. Some interesting 40-man roster moves. What does that mean for the Yankees? What does that mean for these players and other players? That's next. Back here on Locked On Yankees, Stacey, some 40-man roster moves here. What does 40-man roster move mean? Well, your 40-man roster is your pool of players that you can choose from rather simply to play in the major leagues. That's the layman's terms of it. So they have made some moves, which I found fairly interesting. There were two moves. The Yankees added Clayton Beeter, one of their top prospects, right-handed starting pitcher, and catcher Agustin Ramirez. We can talk about Beeter in a second. I know we have it flipped the other way, Stacey. I want to talk about Ramirez first.
Yeah.
Because the Yankees currently have 6 catchers on the 40-man. 6! That's a lot of catchers to have on your 40-man roster. Higgy, Carlos Narvaez, who they also just added recently. Now right. Agustin Ramirez, Ben Rortvedt, Jose Trevino, and Austin Wells. 6 40-man catchers, and that does not include Ben Rice. It's kind of crazy, Stace. It's kind of crazy. Agustin Ramirez, if you don't know him, I believe we may have talked about him once on a Minors Monday this year. Maybe not. It's all hazy at this point. But he had a pretty good year. He was with Hudson Valley and Somerset. Was a player of the month back in July, I believe, with the Hudson Valley Renegades. He's a 22-year-old catcher from the Dominican Republic. But as far as depth chart is concerned, like if you're really thinking about it, like he is pretty far down there. Obviously, Higgy, Trevino, Rortvedt, Wells, and then it's a toss-up between Narvaez and Ramirez. And then again, you could really throw Ben Rice into that mix as well. So, yeah, the Yankees have to do something about this catching situation, right? Like something has to give here.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what they're planning on doing because like all these guys have different reasons to keep them around, if that makes sense. Like maybe not, like hitting wise, some guys are not that great, but behind the plate, they're good. I know people are down on Rortvedt because he doesn't really hit, but Cole seems to really like him and he worked really well with him last year. And, I feel like that's a big thing for big players. You're paying him $324 million to stay with the Yankees. He has an opt-out at the end of 2024. And I feel like if you want to keep your ace happy, you might have to keep the light hitting catcher who is able to catch him and work with him around, which may leave someone that we don't expect to be the odd man out. It's just the question, who is that going to be?
Yeah, I mean, Higgy and Trevino's contracts are coming to a close here soon. But yeah, it's about playing time. Obviously, Narvaez and Ramirez are not close. They're not sniffing the majors right now. I mean, let me also say this at what is it, Tuesday? This is a Wednesday show. Tuesday, massive days for Clayton Beeter and Agustin Ramirez. This is a massive moment in a ball player's life. I know this comes like, oh, it's a 40-man move. Like it seems very, very small for fans. This is one of the biggest days of these people's lives. Like you just got you just got put like 4th, 5th string. Like that's amazing. That's an incredible achievement. So let's just congratulations. That's amazing. Great for you. Very happy for these guys. But yeah, it's crazy that the Yankees have 6. Again, it doesn't mean they have to play in the majors.
Right.
Most of these guys probably won't. You might see Wells next season, but I mean, with a healthy Higgy, a healthy Trevino, and a healthy Rortvet, Wells is already. I mean, Rortvet's already trying to fight to get playing time, and what you said is it makes sense to. That's one of the biggest draws he has is that Garrett Cole likes him.
It might be the only one.
One of them, yeah, one of them.
Yeah.
That's for sure. As far as Clayton Beeter is concerned, we've been talking about Clayton Beeter for a while now. Beeter was picked up in the Joey Gallo trade. Here you go. Here's a little throw-in. Brian Cashman, good trade. That was a great trade. Good job. There you go. Clayton Beeter added to the 40-man. See, it wasn't all negative today. Not all negative for me. But yeah, great for Clayton Beeter.
Oh, you mean when they traded him to the Dodgers and he played all that time in the playoffs with the playoff team?
Stop it. Yeah, Beater's now in the 40, so he's like in the pool of guys that would come up and make spot starts, i.e. your Johnny Britos, your Randy Vasquez's, your for a time Yoendrys Gomez, Ryan Weber, like that guy.
Right.
And that's where Clayton Beeter lands now. And that's awesome. He had an incredible season with AA, went up to AAA, ran into some issues, and then kind of turned it around towards the end there. So very excited for Clayton Beeter. It's an exciting time for him. We have covered him to death, which is awesome and super fun. And I'm very excited for him.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, this is a big deal for those guys, and good for them. I know it was kind of surprising, and I know a lot of people were wondering about other possible 40-man moves, like what's going on, because it's so funny. Baseball's only really been over for just over a week. If you talk about the World Series, and people are already desperate for baseball stuff. It's like a week wasn't like a week was too long for people.
It's 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, 2 weeks.
November 15th. Your mind you're stuck in Cashman timeline.
Well, wait a minute. When did the World Series end? What day was it?
I don't know. It was like October 3rd, 4th. November 3rd. I don't know, Stacey.
It was like 10 days ago. That wasn't that long ago.
I'm stuck in Cashman world. I'm stuck in that snow. My brain is foggy.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the off season. Every day is endless. We're just trying to get back to baseball, folks.
It gets dark early. It's just depressing.
It gets dark early. Or the holidays are coming. It's just, there's a lot going on in my brain. But hey, let us know how you're feeling about Beeter, how you're feeling about Agustin Ramirez and the catching situation. Do you feel like something's got to give here? I don't know if we're 100% certain because some of this stuff is hazy. Let me just also add this quick addendum. Guys get added to the 40 to protect them from Rule 5 draft a lot of times. So I don't know the specifics of this situation. It's really, really in the weeds. I mean, it's in like minute 29 of a off-season daily Yankees podcast, so that's pretty in the weeds when you get here. But yeah, it might be a Rule 5 situation. I have to double check on that, but that might be part of it too, to protect those guys from being Rule 5 drafted. So again, you're in the weeds. But Stacey, not in the weeds, up front and center. What do we got coming up on Thursday's show?
Thursday's show, we're going to be celebrating Garrett Cole winning the Cy Young because he's going to win the Cy Young.
Yes,
we've been saying it for over a month now.
Oh, I've been saying it since April.
You've been saying it since April. That's right. You know what? In all fairness, Steve basically called this. So yeah, we'll be celebrating your correct prediction. Too bad this wasn't one of your bold. It wasn't one of your bold predictions. Too bad it wasn't.
That bold prediction, so old, bold predictions didn't even exist yet.
Yeah. See, you could have won just with that. You could have won with 25 million points.
Oh yeah,
or 324 million points.
Yeah, there you go. Either way, I think I win.
Yeah.
Let us know how you're feeling about Garrett Cole too. A lot of comments to be dropped here today. We want to hear about everything that you have to say. Of course, don't forget the Locked On Yankees Locked On Sports Today. It's whenever I say Locked On, just Yankees just comes out. The Locked On Sports Today on YouTube, 24/7 streaming channel. You guys got to be sports fans elsewhere. I'm sure maybe you're a Rangers fan, New York, not Texas. Maybe you're an Isles fan. You can go check it out over there. Maybe you're a Nets fan, all that kind of stuff. 24/7 streaming. It's brand new. You'll see us on there pop on time to time. Super, super cool. Go check it out. And that's going to do it for today's Madhouse of a Locked On Yankees. I'm Steve Granado.
And I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. We'll see you tomorrow.